to Proclamation Nation, Episode 7, Patriot Act from a Patriot's Perspective. This is Part B. We're going to be covering a little bit about the Patriot Act. Robert, you mentioned that the Patriot Act is an act. Would you mind describing what you mean by that?
Essentially, an act is not law. Acts pretend to be law. An act is no more law than Tom Cruise is a fighter pilot. These things are things that they're basically pipe dreams of government. Law is something that is far different from acts. Like, you cannot kill someone, you cannot steal from someone. Law is always and only the lawful defense of individual rights. These things that have nothing to do with the defense of individual rights will never be law, and that is why they are called acts. Congress doesn't pass laws anymore. They only pass acts. They pass bills, which is something totally, entirely different again.
So, as being an unconstitutional piece of legislation, what can we do to protect ourselves from this?
Well, the best thing I would say that we can do to protect ourselves is to unite with one another and to approach our county sheriffs. The county sheriff is the highest office of law in the land, in the county. He's equal to the president, CEO of the courts. The county sheriff is responsible for nullifying these unconstitutional acts. He even has the power to raise a posse to protect the local people from other branches of government.
Okay, now, we've heard of the MIAC report, the Missouri Institute, Missouri Information Analysis Center.
I was just brushing up on that today, and I'm particularly nauseated with what I saw.
Okay, well, basically what it is, it's a think tank, okay, people that were paid with our money to come up with a description of what a terrorist may look like. Could you describe what you've uncovered in this MIAC report, please?
This MIAC report, basically, anyone could be a terrorist. It's not a specific race. It's not a specific activity. It's basically designed to play the people off against one another. It makes sheepdog out of the people. You know how we got the farmer who has the sheep, and then he's got the sheepdog that keeps all the sheep in line? Well, essentially now we're all becoming the sheepdog, policing one another based on our hunches of suspicious activities that aren't even unlawful. Like a white guy with sunglasses wearing a hat carrying a backpack. He could be a terrorist. Report it. A black girl riding a bike down the street. She could be a terrorist. A Mexican guy standing out front of Home Depot. He could be a terrorist. It's not about racial divisions. It's about making everybody a suspect. And once everybody's a suspect, everybody could be arrested under these how do I say it? They're not archaic because they're not old, but
How about barbaric?
Barbaric is a very good word. Thank you. These are the most atrocious pieces of legislation I've ever seen, and the MIAC report just takes it 3 steps further.
So what they want to do is have us turn on each other. They want you and I to turn on each other so that they don't have to go out and actually do the work themselves. They're basically looking for little tattletales.
Yeah, essentially what they're doing is they're creating such a climate of fear and paranoia that they are creating the terror that they're trying to fight to justify their own existence. That's all it is. It's about power and control, and this is how they're getting it.
Well, you know, we've seen that with the UPS, the fake bomb that was on a UPS plane from France to somewhere else. Okay, it was put there by the FBI,
yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
These false flag attacks happen every day. Maybe not always in America, but in one country or another around the world, where we have over 800 military bases in over 160 countries, you can guarantee that there's a false flag attack going on somewhere today.
What do you mean by false flag attack?
A false flag attack is basically the oldest style of attack known to man. Nero burned down Rome and blamed it on his political enemies to seize power. His enemies didn't actually make the attack happen, but him blaming it on them is what allowed him to seize control and power. They're attacks that are designed to shift blame to someone else, to some false enemy that doesn't exist.
A modern case?
The Gulf of Tonkin would be a perfect case. The major incident that got America involved in the Vietnam War is now generally accepted by all historians to have never taken place. It didn't actually happen. It was a false flag attack. Basically, where false flag comes from is a long time ago, if you had two ships at sea, they would each be flying their own separate flags. And a false flag attack would be a nation carrying a flag that is not their own, attacking their enemy as a pretext for war, and then their enemy attacks their other enemy, and then their enemies duke it out, and then they can come in and swoop up. They can grab the economies at rock bottom prices, because war always impoverishes nations. War is very expensive.
So how about this Department of Homeland Security ad or commercial? I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but basically on our soil, they have pictures and images, videos of just people, white guys. I mean, you would never suspect that they were terrorists, but apparently we are now. We're going around and we're putting things near garbage cans. We're drawing out the dimensions of train stations, and this is sponsored by your money. Okay, this is what your money is doing to help fight terrorism. Okay, what would you say about to the American people about this Department of Homeland Security ad, which it makes us look to be like the guilty guys here?
I'd say that the ad is designed to incite paranoia and panic. It's designed to incite terror. I mean, the ad itself is terrorism. And the Department of Homeland Security is so reminiscent of the Department of Motherland Security, it's not just Orwellian, it's Hitlerian.
So they want old people, old ladies. They want young men. They want us to be afraid of a terrorist so that they can come and protect us. Is that?
That's exactly what it is. They want you to fear your neighbor, so you need to go to someone else for some outside source of protection. In my opinion, it is these very agendas of dependency and giving up our rights that has caused the state of panic that exists. Once you shift responsibility for your own protection from your hands and shift that to the hands of government, you're no longer safe. You're no longer in charge of your own safety. Someone else is. And because you know that the authorities are always at least 15 to 20 minutes away, that creates the state of panic that they want.
So let's say 9/11 never happened. What are the chances that some act like the Patriot Act would find its way to every police office in the country?
Absolutely none. Without 9/11, this could not have happened. This is how these dictators get these agendas passed. They use fear, they use attacks, they stereotype, they try to group everyone together and make everyone the enemy.
Well, how about what we saw happen in Norway with the Norway bombing? This guy, who knows what he is? Okay, we've been told he was looking into Christianity. We've been told he was a neo-Nazi. We've seen him in Freemason wear. What motivates somebody to do that? How could a guy who seems like he's a clean-cut guy and has a regular life, how could he actually have so much hate in his heart to want to destroy and kill innocent people?
I honestly don't know. That's not something that's ever been a part of my being. I would never harm another living soul. I never advocate violence in any of the material that I put forth. What would drive someone to do that, I could only think of would be mental instability of some kind.
Okay, now...
If he actually did it. I don't know if he did it or not. I'm not for the guy, I'm not against the guy. Honestly, I don't know enough about him or the nature of the charges against him to say whether he's guilty or not.
Whichever story is correct on this man, we know that they tried to tie him to certain groups. Okay. I read also in the Patriot Act that they will be surveilling and are surveilling different cultures, maybe rec centers, churches, bingo halls, all kinds of crazy institutions, what are they really trying to get at? Are they just trying to scare us all, let us see them, and so that we can all keep our mouths shut? Why would they want us all to just be afraid of this, not only terrorism, but their treatment of it?
My honest opinion is one world order. You cannot have a global government with a strong nation. The only way to take down a strong nation is from inside. I'm not sure who it was that actually said it, but one of our founding fathers stated that if this nation ever came down to its knees, it would be from within. Enemies that hang their banner outside your castle wall are far less dangerous from the sheep that lurk within them.
Okay, now, what we have here again, 10 years later, okay, where can we go from here? What can we do to rectify or repeal what this Patriot Act has done to, especially to just the overall surveillance? We're not safe. We're not any safer than we were before, and partly it's because our identities are being inspected. Our identities are under surveillance. What you do, what you say, what you type, what you hear, what you read, everything is under surveillance. How does that protect us?
It doesn't protect us. There are no more protections. You have to protect yourself. What I suggest is a new constitutional convention. We need to do this all over again. Like with the Articles of Confederacy. We don't just take what exists and scrap certain parts. We scrap the entire thing and we write it all over. Start from the beginning. A new constitutional convention would be a good way to go about it. Alternatively, we can all approach our county sheriffs. Our county sheriffs are a great tool if we know how to use them.
Okay, Robert, you and I are both a member of an anti-globalization network.
We are definitely considered terrorists, I guarantee it. And neither one of us have anything to do with violence toward any other American or any other living soul. We don't want to blow anything up, we just want to be free.
Let's say, for example, that our group is deemed possible terrorist group for some stupid, crazy reason, because we're all good guys, we're all just trying to get along. And
because we're wearing Levi's jeans.
Is that from the MIAC report?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, what can we do to protect ourselves? I mean, do they just want us to be out of these groups? Do they want us to not go to church anymore? I mean, what kind of action can we take to protect ourselves from their agenda?
Honestly, I don't think that there is any kind of action in specific that we can take individually to protect ourselves from this kind of an Orwellian attack. When you look at the MIAC report and see the different types of things that they consider as potential terrorist activities, it is the most commonplace activity. Any one of these things could be considered a terrorist. Walking your dog in the park could make you a terrorist. Jaywalking could make you a terrorist.
Okay, now, we have an election coming up shortly. We have a number of candidates on the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
Who in the Republican Party reenacted this legislation? Okay, it was sunset. It was going to be null and void. It should have been null and void by now. Okay, this should have all played out, but it was reenacted. Okay, is there anybody that you know that's running for president today that we could maybe count on to really repeal this Patriot Act?
There is only one person running for president today that would have any effect on this act, and that is Ron Paul. He's the only person I know.